Packing tips, Dr. Pathak's memorial, train travel, painting in hotels, tips visiting the Taj. Stay to the end and see it all. I've traveled enough that I've got this packing thing down, but that doesn't mean that I enjoy doing it. But I've mentioned before that I love these little packables. They're made by Rick Steves, and they just have so much stretch to them, and I can really, you're going, no way is that going to close. Okay, I had the same thought myself, but with a little muscle and an encouragement and a few pulled seams, it's all packed nicely in there. Okay, is this going to close? Yep, it does. And look, the seams have ripped before I give it a little kiss for good measure. And in the suitcase it goes. After a long flight, we are in India, and we were graciously invited for dinner on our first day by the Pathak family. Quickly, we saw how fun and loving they are. My husband, Darren, is the CEO and founder of Zulu. We have built, with the help of Sapid, over 100 toilets here in India. We were invited by the Pathak family to the one-year memorial of Dr. Pathak. A former president of India came and received recognition for his great efforts in sanitation, as well as other dignitaries. Dr. Pathak was a visionary Indian and a social reformer and the founder of Sulabh International, established here in 1970 to improve sanitation and end manual scavenging. He developed an eco-friendly toilet system that revolutionized hygiene in India and restored dignity to thousands of sanitation workers. So you may think of sanitation workers as something different where you live, but here in India, they were known as the untouchables. The jobs of these women were to clean the waste from society. They were known as untouchables until the day they died, and if you touched them, you were deemed as untouchable also. When Dr. Pathak was a young child, this was a very curious situation to him, and he was very concerned about these women that would come to his house and clean up after their family, and his grandmother would tell him not to touch them because they were the untouchables. As he matured, this impacted him and his life, and he decided that he was going to create a toilet system for India so as to eradicate the need for untouchables. Through Sulabh, Dr. Pathak expanded access to public toilets, promoted waste management and biogas generation, and advanced social inclusion for marginalized communities. His efforts earned him numerous honors, building more than 1 million toilets for India. His legacy lives on through his son Kumar to reform human dignity for India. So that evening, the party just kept going, and we were invited to a fun dinner with family and friends of the Pathak family. And they were just amazing hosts. They just kept encouraging us to order more food and get more drinks and just good music. And then all of a sudden, at the stroke of midnight, they brought out birthday cakes for Darren. I mean, you can see the surprised look on his face. He's like, this is just so kind. I mean, these people just barely met us, and they're just being so loving. It was really special. It was really special for us. taking the train to Agra to go see the Taj Mahal. And we had some help with our luggage. I'd never seen this before. Someone putting my luggage, was super heavy, on top of his head. It was very nice. And all complimentary of Sulabh International. They were just so good to us. And then we boarded the train. I guess it was, it's typically like a 3 or 4 hour journey, but on the train it was about an hour and a half. So we arrived early and got checked into our hotel. So if you're heading to Agra to see the Taj Mahal, I would highly recommend staying at the ITC Hotel. It's really nice. It sets off the street, so it's very quiet, and there's a lot of nice amenities, really beautiful pool, but it's less than a mile from the Taj Mahal, so that just was awesome because you're just there so quickly. So I brought my paints with me, and as I was entering the hotel, I saw this little lily pad, and I was like, okay, I've never painted a lily before in a lily pad. And I don't know, I have to be honest, this wasn't my favorite subject. It's just challenging to paint something so tiny, and especially when you're coming from such the way that I paint is with so much detail. So, it's close up here on the screen, but it seems like I'm always saying this. It's really just this tiny little flower the size of a pea. So, but it was fun, and I think it turned out okay. But, like in watercolors, you have to start with your lightest and brightest, and then you start adding in the depth. And so I started with the flower, and then I build the layers in with the colors, with the petals, and the center, like the center of a lily has this really bright orange kind of, what are those called? The stamen that just like really poke out like that. And did I just say that? But anyways, it was fun and easy to do. I just brought my little travel kit in my hotel and put it right down on the desk and did it right here. When I'm painting leaves or really painting anything botanical like this, you just have to remind yourself these are just shapes and painting shapes. And because if you let your left brain come in and tell yourself that you're painting a leaf, then all of a sudden you have to do it in this exact shape of a leaf. And that becomes a little boring to paint. But if you tell yourself you're painting shapes and then let your mind fill in these blanks, your mind will do that. And it'll go, this is a lily sitting in a lily pad. And it just puts these shapes into perspective. Okay, so there you have it. I think I like it better now that it's done. It looks better from a distance. But there's my first lily pad in a lily pond in Agra, India. Good memory, if anything. Okay, watch closely. You're going to see a monkey. There he goes. It's Taj Mahal Day. There it is. So we had to get up at 5 a.m. Our ride picked us up at 5:45 to avoid the heat. And when we got there at 6 a.m., there was already a small line. Just letting you know, ladies, you have to go through, they have to check through your purse before you go in. And I would say don't even bring a purse if you don't have to, because that was kind of a pain. But this is really cool, coming through this little opening right there, and then all of a sudden, bam, there you see the Taj Mahal. So for those of you who don't know, because it was a lesson for me too, the Taj Mahal, Mahal I believe means memorial, and it was built for the king, let's see, the King Shah Jahan, am I saying that right? Shah Jahan. 400 years ago, built this as a memorial for his queen. And we had to wear those little blue booties when we got up on top of it. And his beloved Mumtaz Mahal, and she had 14 children. And at her 14th childbirth, she wasn't going to make it, and she asked 3 things of King Shah Jahan. She said, please take care of all of my children, don't marry anyone else, and 3rd, please make a memorial for me. And so that is why he built the Taj Mahal. And then and then she was buried in there. And what's kind of special is that her tomb is down below, and there's a facade of a tomb up higher that you walk around, and he wanted her to be able to rest in silence. So this honeycomb right there, that is all hand carved out of marble. Everything is carved by hand, and if there was one little chip of mistake, boom, it was started from the beginning again. It had to be perfect. So there's our tour guide. He was amazing. And it was a spectacular experience. So this was our first week and a half in India. And from here, we head on to Dubai. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.